Hey guys, I'm Jax, and this is my theories and speculation video for what is going to happen to Kim Wexler. Spoilers for the first 6 episodes of Better Call Saul's final season, and, all of Better Call Saul. So Kim Wexler is one of the greatest characters in Better Call Saul, and is one of the only characters left that we have no idea how her story is going to play out due to her not being in Breaking Bad. So lots of people are speculating, will Kim die? Is she actually behind the scenes pulling the strings, puppet master style, throughout Breaking Bad? Did she go to jail? Does she betray Jimmy? I am here to tell you that the show, Better Call Saul, has actually already told us exactly what is going to happen to Kim Wexler and what is going to kind of end her story. Through the way they have shot Kim and framed her this season, and probably if you go back throughout the whole show, because this show is just so clever and detailed like that, they have framed and positioned Kim in so many scenes, one every single episode this season, with bars visually representing that she is going to go to jail. And I think this is 100% going to happen. There are so many scenes. Just look at all these examples I've put everywhere. Here, maybe over the whole screen. I haven't decided what I'm going to do yet. Some of them are quite subtle where you're like, maybe you're stretching a bit. But some of them are so insanely obvious. There is one scene where Jimmy is sitting there, someone who hasn't gone to prison, and then Kim is framed in the same shot, and there are bars off the window doing the lighting thing. You're looking at it, I'll probably put it up on the screen. So not only are they framing Kim, they are intentionally framing Jimmy not in prison, looking at Kim who's in prison. Now, as I was going through the episodes and trying to find all the ones I could find for this season of Kim behind bars and visual representation and the way they framed it and, all that cinematography thingy stuff, I kind of noticed a couple of times where just random other characters would be kind of positioned in that way where I'm like, I guess you could argue that random lawyer she's talking to is going behind bars because there's, blinds and they're, the light shining through and it's kind of like prison bars. So I can definitely understand if you're like, you're stretching. It's the power of suggestion. It's this, it's that. Now you think that's what's going to happen. You're just seeing it everywhere. But I have to just so strongly disagree. I think this show is so specific and they're so detailed. Like the way this show has been crafted, meticulously crafted and put together, it's not a mistake. Like there are so many moments where they could have just framed it a different way, or they could have just cut little shots here and there. The biggest one is when the episode 4 ends and Jimmy and Kim are both there, and he's like, look, it's my house, my big new workplace from Breaking Bad, it's here. And it's a random scene at the end of an episode. The episode even goes out of its way to be like, where is Lalo Salamanca? And instead of cutting to him as like an end of episode sting, it just cuts to this random scene. But it then kind of carries on just 2 shots too long. Well, not too long, but like there's just a shot of them walking away from the place, going to get tacos or whatever. And you just don't need to include this shot. Like, it's just, you could just cut early, But the shot is so specific. I'll put it up here. It's all here or wherever. And they are walking. And Jimmy walks. And the light reflecting off the moon or the car park lights or whatever it is. He's walking. And he's got no shadows of bars and lines over him. But Kim does this really ominous, suspicious kind of look behind. As if she's like paranoid. Like, what's behind me? Who's coming for me? And then walks through the prison bars of light, visual representation. It's not just clever, maybe, red herring. No. It is insane, horrible foreshadowing that Kim Wexler is going to get arrested. Also, if that's not enough, in the newest episode, episode 6, there is a shot where there's blinds and there's also lights and blinds, and Kim is literally banging on the door, being like, let me into this room. And it's her banging on the prison bars, being like, I want to get out of this prison. I don't like being in prison. It's just too much. There's too much evidence. I just cannot imagine a world where this isn't just foreshadowing. There's too many red herrings. For me, at this point, I think it's 100% confirmed Kim Wexler is going to get arrested and get caught. But I do not think this is the end of Kim's story. And I actually don't think she is going to actually spend any full time in jail. I think that she is going to escape or disappear through the disappearer from Breaking Bad, because in the most recent episode, we see Kim literally pick up and hold out of the little black book of doom and all criminal activity stuffy from the vet's crime boy man. Card, vacuum cleaner disappearer, confirmed. Unfortunately, the actor, he's passed away tragically, so they're not going to be able to use him. But I do think you get that classic shot of that area where they get picked up. The van comes, picks up Kim. Maybe you have like some lines of dialogue on him on the phone or something to kind of tie it all together. But I think the show is so visually kind of clever, and it has such striking imagery that I think just seeing that van in that location, that's enough. But before we go down the rabbit hole of Kim escaping and actually what she's going to be doing throughout Breaking Bad and the whole Gene black and white timeline, let me just completely solidify why she's getting caught. Throughout the entire series, Kim Wexler has been so caught up in like the whole like, should I be Slippin Kimmy, Gazelle, all this kind of stuff? Should I be doing it not like in a moral sense? It's never been a moral issue with doing the grifts and doing the crimes and doing all the sneaky stuff. It's, will I get caught? Will I not get caught? And then that was just battered over the head with us in the most recent episode when the first scene, the cold open, is her as a little kid doing a crime and her mum essentially giving her the moral lesson of, don't worry, Slippin Kimmy, little baby Slippin Kimmy. You did the crime and you didn't get caught. It's all good. You didn't get caught. She's getting caught. And if that's not enough, there's a scene of her and Jimmy kissing, they're all smooching, and then it smash cuts to literally a piece of wood being smashed by an axe, ripping it, separating Slippin Kimmy and Slippin Jimmy apart. It's all there. Like, and then the opening scene of this season where you see all the tires flying down and the big golden toilets and all the things in the house. No Kim whatsoever. Not even photos and little things to be like, oh, he lost her, she died, and he's mourning her. Look at the big shrine he's got, or at least a photo, a picture, or something like that. No. All we get is that whole scene of everything in Saul's house getting passed, and then the stopper from that big expensive bottle thingy that started her first grift is just in the gutter, just left alone in the gutter. And then the last shot we have before the mid-season finale, one episode before the break, Kim is literally driving, being like, oh, the grift's not going to work, it's all going to fall apart. And then she just goes, no. Does a spinny thing, there's a convenient part where she can do a big spin, big white shot, and she drives back into town to destroy Howard and to complete the grift, because she can't let go. And that moment, that turning of the car in that moment, that solidified she's going to get caught, and it's kind of her fault. She could have just driven off, and maybe everything would play out differently, but no. But, as I said, I don't think that she's going to get caught. I think she'll get caught, and Howard will be like, you've tried to do all this thing, and he'll ruin her life. She'll get sentenced to prison, but somehow she'll escape on bail, and then literally just bail using the disappearer. I think the disappearer and using that just works so well to tie the shows together. How did, Saul know about that guy? Because the love of his life, his wife, Kim, has used that, so he knows it's trustworthy. I think this would be kind of more interesting than having Kim just kind of be in prison throughout Breaking Bad, and what are we going to get, a couple of montage scenes of Breaking Bad stuff happening and he just goes to prison to see her. That kind of doesn't sound as interesting to me as the idea that she is gone forever. And in one of the episodes, I think in season 4 of Better Call Saul, we just have this random one-off flash forward into Breaking Bad times where there's a phone call, a specific time at a specific date. It's Kim. It's definitely Kim. Like, anyone who's like, well, it might be this. It's Kim. He's calling Kim because Kim, the disappearer's always like, if you bail from this place, Walter White, it's dangerous and I won't come back for you, and it's all, you can't do that. So I think Kim risks it once at this specific time to go speak to Jimmy, and that phone call is also important because then in the Gene timeline, all the way back in flashback times, he's going to call up Kim at that exact time because he's at the last time we saw Gene, he's like, I'm going to deal with this myself. I won't double disappear. I will deal with this myself. No double disappearing for Jimmy. He's going to call Kim and he's going to be like, we're going to do one last grift. And the final episode or 2 episodes will be them doing a final grift in black and white, or maybe in color. I don't know what they'll decide to do, but that'll be a final thing. What will happen after that, I have no idea. I can kind of imagine a Bonnie and Clyde bang bang shooty shooty kind of ending that tragically ends them. But I would just love so much just a shot of them driving away into the sunset happily ever after all this trauma and roller coaster of emotions and thingies happening. I think that would be so utterly satisfying. Now you might be thinking, hey Jax, that's actually a really good theory. You had so many visual examples when you were waving your hands about. But I kind of think if she gets arrested for kind of destroying Howard's life, maybe that's not enough to go away for life. She loses her career and this and that. But is it worth disappearing forever to become a different person, never seeing Jimmy again, never seeing anything, and her whole life being destroyed? Is that really worth it? Maybe she would go to prison. It's not kind of like a cop going to prison and being like, oh, everyone in here, I put them in here, it's a dangerous place. It'd probably be like a low-tier prison kind of situation because it's like a white-collar crime, I think is what they call it. So why is she going to do the disappear? Well, you forgot about the other character that's still in the show that we don't know the end game of. Lalo Salamanca, the sexiest man with a mustache who just does horrible crimes and is just the worst man ever. But man, he's charming. I think that with Lalo still in the picture and her not knowing if Gus has killed Lalo or if Lalo's still just lurking in the background, she just has this idea of, if I go to prison, Lalo can get me super easy. He can use me. He can have people in the prison doing all, he's got all the crime people that are probably in prison and all that kind of stuff. So I think that she thinks she's a target in there. Maybe he even makes a play at her. Maybe he makes a play at Jimmy. Maybe he tries to make her do something in prison. And she goes, no, I'm going to have to get bail. I'm going to have to go and disappear out. I think somehow, I'm not 100% sure how this is all going to play in, but I think Lalo needs to play in because that confrontation where Kim and Lalo have that big scene at the end of season 5, that felt like a big setup for a confrontation, a big versus. Although, this show has kind of done an odd subversion of expectation. Like, I really expected Nacho and Lalo to have a big versus in the final season. Didn't get anything like that. So, maybe Lalo won't play a part at all, and Kim will just do the disappear act. Maybe what they're planning for Howard is so horrific that it does kind of life in prison, and she's like, actually, I'd rather live in a cabin in the woods. Let's call this vacuum cleaner guy. So Kim Wexler, Slippin Kimmy, Giselle, whatever she calls herself, whatever you like to call her, she is going to go to prison, but bail via the disappearer, and then hopefully end up in the Gene timeline for one final grift. That's my big theory for how Kim's story will end in Better Call Saul. Thanks for watching, guys. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and comment below. I would love to know what everyone's thoughts and feelings are of this theory. What are your theories? What do you think Slippin Kimmy's end is going to be in this story? Do you think we're going to get her playing the part behind the scenes in Breaking Bad? Do you think she's going to die? If so, how? I'd love to know everyone's thoughts, theories, speculation, all the things. The crazier the theory, the better. I want to hear all about it.